Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday. As we're here with news for the week of February 7th, first full week of the month. It has b- it's been a week already. I know it probably feels a little bit good to get out of January, but it's definitely February's got its own interesting vibe so far. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into things this morning. I've got a I got a lot going on. Going to be as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to photo and video firefighters training, which is a pretty cool way to start your weekend. But there's the 51st Southeast Fire and Rescue College is happening um at the Emergency Services Training Ground, which is literally just a block from my house. So I'm gonna just spend the morning walking around taking photos of burning stuff. Rock on. So yeah, I am excited, honestly. It's gonna be pretty fun. I am excited. Okay, cool. Make sure the audio is going through. All right, I don't see captions this morning. That's kind of weird. Um, oh, why the wrong thing? No, either way, cool. Oh, all right. So as we're getting going, there's the captions. All right, groovy. Um, let's jump right into news. Uh, Author Rebecca Yaros, who produced the adult. Hey, good morning, Tristan. She makes the Onyx Storm series. Or Onyx Storm is the third book in the series. Um, it became her new book, Onyx Storm, became the fastest selling adult novel. Not adult, sketchy adult, like adult normally just for old people. It became the fastest selling adult novel in 20 years. Um, it sold 2.7 million copies uh in just 1 week. Um, so that's pretty impressive. So good for her. Uh, and I'm gonna say this is um because I know families watch this, and so I'm gonna say this as politely as possible. Um, hey Jeff, good morning, man. Um, an actress, air quotes, in Brazil, um, yes, uh, fell off of a balcony to her death, um, while filming a scene for a movie. Um, this happened near Rio de Janeiro. And I'm hearing good things about the Onyx Storm book series too, man. I haven't read it yet. I haven't had the bandwidth, and I need to write more than I'm reading right now. Good morning, Miss Lynn. Um, but yeah, Onyx Storm apparently is blowing up. I'm hearing better things than the Court of Thorn and Roses or whatever, in terms of, you know, stuff for everybody. But yeah, either way. So that's a thing. If you're a fan of the Dexter Resurrection series, or if you're a fan of Dexter and you're interested in watching the Dexter Resurrection series, which is currently filming, not to be mistaken for the Dexter First Blood or whatever that is currently broadcasting. So there are two Dexter series happening. One is the prequel series, which is currently airing, and then the sequel series to the sequel series is coming out called Dexter Resurrection. Um, and a new poster this week shows that Julia Stiles is returning back as a character, Lumen Pierce, who was part of the original Dexter series. So Julia Stiles is making her TV return with Dexter Resurrection. There's also a Netflix series um, called The Four Seasons, that will be dropping somewhere in the near future, starring Tina Fey, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, which, but if you're not aware of who Coleman Domingo is, you will be real soon. But he starred in the movie Sing Sing, which is nominated for an Oscar. He's also Batman on the audio drama, and he's just up for a lot of things. And Steve Carell. So, but it's a comedy drama series um, about four friends that reunite on a vacation every year and about how their life progresses in between these vocations. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. It sounds very slice of lifey, and I trust all four of these actors very much, really, for what they do. So for the four seasons be popping up somewhere soon. Um, I know that there's a lot of geeky ministries out there, and I don't know all of them, and I can't claim to know all of them, and I can't endorse all of them. But apparently, there's a organization called God is a Geek, um, and uh, the ex-priest owner of God is a Geek motivated the entire staff of that ministry and organization to quit at once. Um, and it gets real political into that, but the entire staff outside of the owner quit that ministry over the actions of the owner. So, if you want to look a little bit more into that, uh, basically, it just said his recent actions, they could no longer separate his actions of politics aside from they uh, they emphasize they do not support or condone the owner's actions and will cease publication on God as a Geek, and they will launch a new ministry site free from the owner Robinson's, Calvin Robinson's actions. So I don't know all of Calvin Robinson's actions. Honestly, didn't want to dig too deep into it just because ministries struggling aren't my favorite thing. So I was like, you know what? We all suck enough. Let's, but if you want to dig into that, Calvin Robinson, God as a Geek, you can check out what went wrong. Also, in terms of what went wrong, uh, if you've been following all the things that have been happening with Neil Gaiman, like with the allegations that are rising against him, um, his comic book series Anansi Boys was officially canceled, and will not be releasing. Good Omens will not be doing a third season, and instead will do one single 90-minute episode to wrap up. And then this week it was announced that Netflix will be ending the Sandman series with season two. They've already filmed 99% or all of Sandman season two, and when it drops this year, they're just going to go ahead and call it quits. Now, there was enough Sandman material to go for years, but they said they also only plan to do two seasons to begin with, and they were just going to focus on Dream's journey. That sounds like good PR and marketing, but I'm pretty sure that's just them ending it to show some mercy and not have to say, hey, we have to end it because of these allegations. I am sad to see it go because I feel like they did a really good job with that adaptation. I've been reading, yeah, no season three of Sandman. You're right, Tristan. And well, I will say this: if you are a fan of the Sandman universe, um, Audible has been putting out audio dramas of the whole comic series. Um, and with a ridiculously star-studded cast. Like James McAvoy plays Dream, Kat Dennings plays Death, Jeffrey Wright plays Destiny, Arthur Darville's in there, David Tennant plays Loki, Michael Sheen plays Lucifer. There's like the cast is ridiculously star-studded. And when it gets to the story of Orpheus, uh, and Persephone. There's musicals. It's the whole deal. The audible drama for Sandman is maybe one of the best things I've ever listened to, and also one of the most terrifying things I've ever listened to when it comes to certain things. But there are three volumes out, and I don't know what the fate of that is. But I'm gonna tell you this: those three volumes are hours I don't regret listening. I want to check real quick and see. Let's see. And for y'all that don't like rocking with Audible subscriptions or anything like that, yeah, I'm only seeing three. Currently, Sandman and four Audible. Um, it looks like volume four will happen, but they haven't released dates of it yet. So there's that. Um, Tristan says he has the Audible books. They are beautiful. They are. Now here's the thing. I don't like streaming them. And if I don't know if you know this, but on certain Audible books, you can get CDs of them. Um, and so I just bought the first three volumes of Sandman, and it comes on one CD for the whole Audible book, which is wonderful. So those are great, but I am sad to see Sandman ending. Um, at the beginning of the weekend last week, you can find video footage of this if you really want nightmares. There's footage of what appears to be hundreds of spiders raining from the sky in Sao Tome das Letras, Brazil. Um, it literally looks like it's snowing spiders as they're gliding through the breeze and landing on everything. And I've watched the video footage of this, and I'd never want to go outside again. But yeah, if you want to look it up, check it out. Raining spiders in Brazil because it literally looked like it was snowing, and they weren't even falling fast. They were like gently wafting on the breeze as the spiders were going down there. Yikes. Um, a legendary basketball coach from UNC um, is helping wipe out debt for Hurricane Helene survivors by donating $10 million um, to the cause. So that's pretty beautiful. Um, Andre 3000 was one, the Grammys just happened this week, but Andre 3000 was one of the artists who pulled out of the Grammys because he didn't want to be nominated along all the other albums. He would have been up against Beyonce. And hold on, and I just want to say this real clearly. If the fact that Andre 3000's Flute album was also in the category for best album of the year at one point in time is not no bueno. Because I'm gonna tell you this, I love Outkast. I love Outkast. I think they're one of the most creative rap groups of all time. I appreciate Andre 3000's contributions to society. But if you straight up tell me you listen to that Flute album and it blessed your soul, I'm gonna call you a liar. Unless you are just straight up into jazz and like elevator music, you did not love that album, and it should not have been nominated for album of the year. I'm gonna just say it. Um, the Grammys were its own source of drama for a lot of people, but it also had some nice moments. But either way, there's an anime of Devil May Cry that will be releasing a little bit later in the spring, and it will be bringing our younger days of aggression back with it because the opening intro to the Devil May Cry anime on Netflix will be Limp Bizkit's Rollin'. So if you have longed for an anime that kicks off with like Fred Durst asking you if you're ready. You're gonna have it. It's coming. Um, Starbucks this week has done some interesting things, and also a heads up for Monday. I mentioned last week that Starbucks is changing their thing about you can't sit in there for free and you have to order a drink to be able to sit in Starbucks. Experienced some of that firsthand. Um, on the bathroom front because the Starbucks is now, or at least the one I've only physically been into one Starbucks since last week, um, now have coded doors where you have to get a code from the barista to go into the bathroom. And if you have not purchased a drink, they're not going to give you the code. And myself, I couldn't remember the code long enough from what she told me to get into the bathroom, and I had to keep going back. But either way, so they've got that, but they also have a new policy that if you're sitting in the restaurant and you are using a real cup or yeah, a real cup or mug, which you can do now, um, they will refill your glass or your mug with iced coffee or hot coffee for free. So if you order a latte and when you finish that you want to refill it with just regular coffee or iced coffee, they'll do that for you. Also on Monday, February 10th, coffee is free. Just black coffee or iced coffee is free at Starbucks if you want to swing by there. So there you go. You can get free refills and you can get free coffee. You just can't use the bathroom without going in. Um, Kendrick Lamar did make Grammy news this week as he won five Grammys for the song "Not Like Us," and it marks the first time in history that a diss track won a Grammy. Um, yep. And this further, drives the Drake narrative and will also make it more interesting for the Super Bowl. But yeah, Kendrick won five Grammys for that. And in a seriously, what on earth is happening scenario, at least in my mind, uh, the Beatles won the Grammy for Best Rock Performance 55 years after they split up. Process that. Two of the Beatles are dead. They've not been a group for 55 years. And a documentary about their band won for Best Rock Performance, beating out uh Todd, you have not missed the F4 talk. We'll have it just for you, buddy. Let me finish this Beatles conversation and we'll jump right on some Fantastic Four. Um, but the Beatles won for best rock performance at not even being a group, not even putting out an album, but because of their documentary. And so they beat out Green Day and Pearl Jam for best performance. They also beat out Linkin Park. 21 Pilots withdrew themselves from the Grammy nominations for this year. They have personal feelings toward the Grammys. Not bad, but Tyler Joseph, the lead singer for 21 Pilots, says he gets to look out at full arenas every night of people that are emotionally and physically affected by their music. He doesn't need a trophy. Um, so he didn't want their band in the Grammys. Um, so just the fact that the Beatles took it. Also, that the Rolling Stones took Best Rock Album. Y'all didn't know the Rolling Stones were still alive. Y'all didn't know the Rolling Stones were still putting out music. I'm pretty sure none of y'all bought the Rolling Stones album or listened to it, or would enjoy it if you did listen to it. But they took home best album. Again, I feel like that would be offensive as a rock musician. But when 21 Pilots and Mumford and Sons have won best rock album, I get it that you want to differentiate that. But Linkin Park or um, Green Day should have probably taken it home more so than that. But whatever. Todd, let's talk Fantastic Four. I know you got to do an episode on it with Sis and Big Pop on your podcast. So the trailer for Fantastic Four did drop this week. We got our first look at our little robot. We got our first look at Grimm. We got a solid look at the Richards, Johnny Storm. I mean, it was all solid good. We got to see physical Galactus. I don't know that we saw a Silver Surfer in the trailer. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, so what were y'all's feelings on the Fantastic Four trailer? How do you feel about it? Are you hopeful? Are you frustrated? Where's the vibe? Because I know that Todd especially is the biggest Fantastic Four fan. Uh, Todd says he teared up. Seems just like the Galactus trilogy. Yeah, I was genuinely there. I was hoping for this would be good for you more than anybody else. Like, I'm sure other people's opinions matter, but I was really hoping this was something that looked like this was going to check your boxes and give you a good experience. Um, and like one of the things that I've also appreciated, if you've not seen even just beyond the trailer, um, yeah, Todd says you did not see Silver Surfer or Mr. Fantastic's power. Yeah, I knew I didn't see any stretches either. Um, uh, Pedro Pascal struggles with anxiety, um, a lot, especially since he's actually blown up. Like it wasn't as bad when he was a mediocre actor nobody knew about, but like now that he's kind of all over the place, it ramps up, and his co-star, uh, that plays Sue Storm, um, has been very helpful in calming him down, and you'll see a lot of their red carpet interactions and stuff where he starts to get anxious. They have like little physical touches and stuff that help him to ground, which is nice. I appreciate that kind of support and hope it continues in a healthy way. Um, Todd, was there anything like specifically that you just straight up loved or that, gave you a big aha moment for it? Because, you know, I appreciate the aesthetic for sure. And yeah. He says that it's scored by the same guy that scored The Incredibles. Um, Currently the best Fantastic Four movie. The Incredibles is the best Fantastic Four movie. The Incredibles is also one of the best superhero movies, period. And yes, it was a fantastic. It was a Fantastic Four movie. Yes, you're accurate. I was greatly appreciative of that, and I am looking forward to it. I really wish there was a little bit more distance between that movie and Superman. Because we don't need to fight, y'all. Um, and personally speaking, out of the two, I think I'm a little bit looking more forward to Superman just because DC and all the things that are going to be connected to it. But I also fully look forward to being there for Fantastic Four and watching that. And I think it drops the week of GalaxyCon, which is the biggest con in the Carolinas. Yeah, it's just 1 week difference. And so it's going to be a it's going to be a shenanigan when that separates. Um, so Todd, if you can happen to catch yourself up here in Raleigh, North Carolina that week, tickets on me to go see Fantastic Four. But yeah, it looks good. I am excited for it. And I know at some point in time this story is going to have them do a time jump to where they're all, in present day. So, you know, some rip in reality or whatever is going to yank them to the future. But I don't know. It's going to be fun in how they do it. But yeah, Fantastic Four. It's going to be fun. Um, Chapel Roan, who also won Best New Artist at the Grammys. She said, "I told myself if I ever won a Grammy and got to stand up here in front of the most powerful people in music, I would demand that labels in the industry profiting millions of dollars off the artist would offer a livable wage and health care." So she won Best New Artist and said, "Hey y'all, you should take care of your musicians," which is admirable. Because back when 21 Pilots won a Grammy, they said we always said if when we were younger that if we won a Grammy we'd accept it in our boxer shorts, and then they you know dropped their pants behind the podium and accepted it in their boxer shorts. So between accepting a Grammy in your undies and demanding a livable wage in healthcare, I think Chapel Roan wins for your Grammy uh, and things. Um, there was also a sweet moment during the Grammys where Cynthia Erivo, who plays uh, Elphaba in Wicked, couldn't find her seat, so Taylor Swift shared half of her seat with her because both of them weigh 43 pounds, and they could sit in one seat together. Um, the Royal Rumble also happened this week, which was a fun event and everything. Streamer slash TikToker slash influencer Speed entered the Royal Rumble for about 43 seconds um, before getting hit by almost a literal freight train. Um, and he did get an injury from his 43 seconds in the ring. Again, it's for professionals. Um, and he lost what looks about to be a patch of about 3 inches of skin off his leg. And it looks just like from straight rug burn from hitting the mat that fast. If you're interested, you want to see one of the dudes in the wrestling industry these days is named Braun Breaker, and he has been clocked. They actually used a speedometer on him that when he bounces off the ropes at a certain rate, he can hit up to 23 miles an hour for a move that he does when he hits someone. And he hit Speed with his 23 mile an hour spear and took about 3 inches of skin off my dude's leg. But, he also generated more, I want to say, it got more clips and downloads that one hit than anything else out of the whole deal. So, I've got a picture of the wound. It's gnarly. Um, and things that I'm honestly surprised haven't happened yet. Warner Brothers is officially announced that they will be doing an animated movie of Oh, the Places You'll Go. Um, because I figured this movie would get made before the Lorax, because the Lorax was like 2 pages. I would still much rather see an animated feature of I Had Trouble Getting to Salisalu, because I think that is the most banging Dr. Seuss book in the world, because the end of the story ends with the character getting a baseball bat to go face his troubles. Um, he says, "But I've got a big bat, and now you'll see my troubles are going to have troubles with me." Chef's kiss. But Oh, the Places You'll Go will be receiving a full-length feature animated treatment from Warner Brothers, and I'm pretty certain that means kids will watch this in school the last week of school for the rest of eternity. Um, so that will be coming. Uh, Taylor Swift and Kanye West have a Grammy history or have an award show history, with him famously interrupting her a lifetime ago as she won her award. Um, Leading up to the Grammys, and I'm going to skip talking about Kanye's other Grammy instance this time because I'm just don't even know what to say. But Kanye West doesn't follow people on Instagram or not anymore. Um, the day of the Grammys, Kanye West followed one person, and it was Taylor Swift. So it was a weird move, but yeah, that was what happened at the Grammys. Um, doo-doo-doo. In sad news, Charlotte Flair, the daughter of Ric Flair, um, got divorced from her husband Andrade, who is also a wrestler. And if you weren't aware, the reason I've spoken about them before is because Charlotte Flair and Andrade had their wedding officiated by the real life Nacho Libre. Um, the luchador wrestler who was formerly named Frey Tormenta is the real life Nacho Libre who was a Mexican priest who kept an orphanage afloat by doing luchador wrestling. Is real life Nacho Libre, who the story and movie was based on. He officiated their wedding, but they got divorced. Um, think officially in October, but they announced it this week as Charlotte Flair returned to the ring for wrestling. And I mean, I don't know how I 100% feel about this currently, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer will be returning to television, with Sarah Michelle Gellar back as Buffy. This will be a reboot from Hulu, and it will pick up somewhere down the line. Um, Now, if you are a fan of the original Buffy series, there was two seasons of the story that took place in comic book and graphic novel that was canon, or at least it used to be canon after the show. But now they're going to be making this reboot series, and they tried really hard for a long time to convince Sarah Michelle Gellar why they should do this, and I think they officially, um, yeah, I don't know either, Tristan. Uh, I genuinely don't know. Um, but they're remaking Buffy, so here we are. I'll be here. I'll check it out. I'll watch it. And I am genuinely sad that my friend Amy, who passed away about a year ago, won't be around for this because she was a huge Buffy fan along with her friend Deborah. Um, and that was my honest first thought was Amy's not here for this, and that made me sad. Because there's a new Tron project and there's a new Buffy project, and those were like her two favorite things. So, but yeah, keep an eye out. That will be coming. One Piece season two live action has officially wrapped. Um, they're done filming. That doesn't mean we're going to see it this year. In fact, it's still looking like 2026. Even though they're done filming, there's still a lot of CGI to go because somewhere in there we're getting Chopper, the little reindeer doctor. Um, and that's, going to be heavy on CGI. And based on some of the other stuff that they're going to be doing, I can't imagine this is going to be an easy process. Plus, all of Luffy's powers and all the deal. Um, but the end of the show should have us either meeting or adding Chopper as the newest crew member to the Straw Hat Pirates. Um, and not that y'all really are keeping track or worried about this, but I'm up to episode 900 and like 30 of One Piece. So I feel like I've got maybe another month to catch up and actually be on track. I've had to do a lot of like data entry and design stuff lately, and I'll just put One Piece on in the background, trying to be like Todd when he does mosaics and just burn through it. So, but yeah, I am looking forward to actually seeing One Piece season two. Um, yeah, Ki Hu Kwan, Hui Kwan. I'm gonna say it wrong, but short round from Indiana Jones slash Everything Everywhere All at Once got his hands and feet cemented in the Chinese theater sidewalk this week, and he was joined by his Goonies co-stars. Either all joined him at that ceremony or at the premiere of his movie Love Hurts, which premieres this weekend. But Sean Ashton, Josh Brolin, Corey Feldman, like all of the other Goonie kids that are alive and functional showed up. And Steven Spielberg said he wanted to attend. Um, Tristan said you're struggling getting through Naruto. Um, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I could get through Naruto. Maybe I will. Maybe that's next on the list. But I'm also, and I'm going to say this in all the legal terms, also because a lot of One Piece's exposition and yeah, powering it up as bad as Dragon Ball Z, a lot of times I'll put it on as like an audio book on long drives, just listening to the audio. Um, and if I miss something that's visual, I'll go back and watch it later. But it's just one of those things of like, I need to power through it. I just want to get it over with. I'm appreciating it. I'm enjoying it, but I want it to be done. But Ki Hu Kwan got his stuff in there, but his movie does premiere this week. It's not getting great like reviews or anything, but I'm happy for the man. The dude had a 38-year break in acting, came back, won an Academy Award, and now he's like the world's entertainment sweetheart. Um, Even had his own Marvel original character put into comics. So good for him. Happy for him. Um, Lauren Daigle, worship artist, musician person, will be opening the Super Bowl on Sunday to as she sings America the Beautiful. Um, well, she'll be kicking that off. And if you're not aware, the Super Bowl will be streaming this year on Tubi for free. Fox is broadcasting the television broadcast, but Tubi will be handling the streaming of the Super Bowl, and it will be available for everybody to watch free on Tubi. That's our thing. If you care and you want to watch the Super Bowl, um, if the, I'm basing on the sports people things of this, if the Eagles lose the Super Bowl, their record since 1933 will put them at 666 wins and 666 losses. Um, if they lose the Super Bowl. Um, if they win the Super Bowl, they'll be at 667 and 665. But it's just an interesting little, mathematic there. Uh, in the midst of Kendrick Lamar winning all the Grammys and everything else, Drake started a tour this week. And Drake started a tour by wearing a hoodie that is full of bullet holes. Now, that would be a cute enough sentiment, but Drake's bullet hole hoodie leaks smoke out of the bullet holes in the back. So as he's walking around performing, his bullet hole hoodie is literally seeping smoke out the back of it for as he's walking around doing his concert, which is a kind of crazy visual. Um, I give him props for embracing the shots fired and doing that. But yeah, good for him for still moving forward. The Bugs Life section of Animal Kingdom will be closing down for good on March 17th of this year. If you're a Bugs Life fan, I don't know that many of them, but it will be closing down. And they've also filed for a demolition permit to bulldoze the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom, which will be coming a little bit later. So if you're a fan of either of those aspects of Animal Kingdom, you better boot, scoot, and boogie on over to that park because it will not be the same in a little while. Um, Back to Kendrick and Drake real quick, just for the giggles of it. Um, the American Heart Association, people that are supposed to help keep us alive, went out of their way to put dirt on the coffin of Drake this week. Um, the American Heart Association officially released a statement that Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar has 108 beats per minute, the right tempo for hands only CPR. So the American Heart Association this week put out a statement and said, hey, if somebody's dying, you can do CPR to the beat of Not Like Us and save their life, which will further cement the song and Drake's humiliation into reality. I just think that's super cold. There is a new Smurfs animated film coming in July. Don't know that we need it, but it looks prettier than any of the Smurf stuff we've seen so far. I'll say that. And it features Rihanna as Smurfette. Nick Offerman, I believe, is playing Papa Smurf, Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. So that's coming in July. If you've shopped for groceries anytime recently, you know that eggs are bananas just in terms of like pricing. Um, a heist happened this week in Pennsylvania as more than 100,000 eggs uh, worth roughly $40,000 were stolen from a farm in Pennsylvania during a nighttime heist. So people legit aren't out here stealing gold or jewels or dollars. They're stealing pallets of eggs. And that's where the world is. Um, a new Pokemon movie drops at the end of month on February 27th. There's a new Pokemon anime film uh, called uh, Dragonite the Mailman or Dragonite and the Mailman. And it features Dragonite being a mailman. So, and some cute kids. The footage looks good. So, if you are a fan of Dragonite, Pokemon, or anything else, you've got a new movie at the end of the month to check out. Uh, the studio Rooster Teeth is making a return. The studio closed down 9 months ago. Um, and the original owner purchased the company back, and is planning to bring it back in a fashion, with creative content and shorts and things like that. Rooster Teeth got its start in 2003 by making an original TV show called Red versus Blue, um, which was a TV show filmed in the Halo game, where people literally played multiplayer Halo and filmed a TV show of it. And it was pretty hilarious in its in onset. Um, yeah, but he launched that 22 years ago. I remember watching those episodes on dial-up and waiting forever for each one to drop, but whatever. Ozzy Osbourne will reunite with Black Sabbath for one final performance before they retire the band forever. So Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, one more time. It's happening. Dead by Daylight is adding a Resident Evil mode from February 10th through the 25th. So if you're a Resident Evil fan, you want to play Dead by Daylight, there you go. Marilyn Manson is celebrating 4 years of sobriety. I'm a clap for that. Uh, Marilyn Manson has long had an interesting history of life and culture. Um, but 4 years of being sober, I think is worth celebrating. So good job for him. This time last year, Killer Mike uh had won 3 Grammys for his album, uh that he won three. He won best rap album, best rap performance, and best rap song last year, but then was immediately arrested while trying to exit the show last year. And he was wrongfully detained by security guards, and uh fought back. And so now he waited until the Grammys were over for this year and that his term as best rap was over. He's now suing oh, the security firm that led to his arrest and wrongfully detained him. He is suing them, um, for being wrongfully detainment. The Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni stuff has gotten crazier throughout the week. Justin Baldoni released an entire website of evidence, neatly organized to prove that he is, in his opinion, here's what he's gone through. And the trial is set for March 6th of 2026, or March 4th of 2026. So a whole year and some change away. But Taylor Swift has also been put on record this week as saying that she felt like she was used and blindsided by Lively as leverage against Baldoni, and she didn't agree to that. Um, yep. One of the folks that was killed in the DC plane crash was a uh, biology teacher, and a scholarship for science is being set up in her name to continue her legacy. A teacher from Kansas that passed away in that flight. Lil Wayne has announced a new album, which will drop on June 6th, 2025. Lil Wayne has been very verbally and visually disappointed that he was not chosen as the Super Bowl artist for this year, because he is from New Orleans. Um, he loves the Saints. That's his people, that's his culture, and he's been saying for years that he wanted to be chosen for this, and it doesn't just go to that. Right now, Rock Rockaware and Jay-Z are have a big responsibility over picking who's playing, and he wasn't chosen because they have some beef, et cetera, et cetera. So now I think this has officially motivated Lil Wayne to put out a new album and swing on some folks. So Carter 6 will be dropping on June 6th. Blake Lively also has a new lawsuit, from a PR organization, who claims that she defamed her in her original statement. They're suing her for $7 million. So currently, at bat, she's being sued for $407 million. Um, this is how you know it's the sign of the apocalypse. Waffle House has officially had to raise the prices of any dish containing eggs, which is like everything at Waffle House. They're implementing a 50-cent surcharge on each egg due to supply issues caused by the bird flu and apparently people stealing eggs. Doo, doo, doo. On every Friday, including today, every Friday in February, 7-Eleven has free Slurpees. So if you've got a 7-Eleven somewhere in your neighborhood, you can go get a free Slurpee today. That's fun. For the last 4 years, the end of the Chiefs end zone has said end racism. Um, I think originally going up uh, about the time of all the protests and riots and everything during the pandemic. Um, and they put end racism in it. They are removing it before Sunday for the Super Bowl. Um, and this will be the first time it's been removed in the 4 years, and I think they're going to leave it off now. So apparently, we've ended racism according to the Chiefs end zone. Um, a mom's vape exploded this week and caught her entire car on fire as she was on a uh, speakerphone conversation with her husband, which was tragic to hear. And if you really want to hear that audio, you don't. Um, so vaping's dangerous. The classic piece of literature, Animal Farm, is now being produced into a adaptation by Andy Serkis. So he'll do some killer work with that. If you're a fan of Star Wars, the animated stuff, The Bad Batch will be returning in a new book this year that follows the story of the Bad Batch crew. Um, that is coming. Doo-doo-doo. A live action film adaptation of Mobile Suit Gundam is happening with Namco signing on to co-finance Bandai Namco co-financing the movie to make sure it's got enough budget. Harrison Ford complimented Troy Baker, who portrayed him in the Indiana Jones Great Circle video game. He said they don't need AI when you've got actors who can just like literally steal their soul by doing a good job. And by the way, I played the Indiana Jones game and finished it this week, and I will say, A, it's a wonderful game. It was a 2024 game. I didn't play it until 2025, but it was probably the best game of 2024 that I played. Um, It was the best entry in the Indiana Jones franchise since the original trilogy. Probably the best Indiana Jones story personally out of all of them for me. And it takes place like before the Last Crusade. Um, like I want to say it takes place like 1 year after uh Raiders of the Lost Ark. So it would be time wise because Temple of Doom takes place before Raiders. It would be time wise, it would be the third portion of the Indiana Jones story before Temple or Last Crusade. Um, Acting is phenomenal. It also features now long past actor Tony Todd of Candyman fame, who plays the main character in it. He passed away last year. And I'll just say this on a biblical representation note, it was great. There's a whole mission where you actually have to spend it studying the crucifixion. Um, there's a lot of biblical focus, um, and I don't want to give away spoilers, but some main portions, including the final climax of the game, revolve around biblical stuff. And like, yeah, I was really impressed with the game. So if you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend playing it. If you don't want to drop the full price, it is on Xbox Game Pass. And so for $20, you can get a month of Game Pass and play through it. And because I played through it in about 3 weeks of spare time. But it was really well done. And Troy Baker nailed the voice. I'm talking like there are times I'm like Indiana or Harrison Ford now couldn't do it as well as Troy Baker did just because of his aging, but perfect. The Pokemon card game, the digital version, has now surpassed Pokemon Go's initial profitability. The Pokemon trading card game Pocket is estimated to have made $500 million in 2.5 months. Um, it Pokemon Go did almost that, but it took 3 full months for Pokemon Go to make $500 million. Um, and so Pokemon Trading Card Pocket has made that much, in a shorter time. A Connecticut lawmaker is petitioning and taking things forward that movie times actually have to start at what's advertised, not have 20, 30 minutes of previews prior. So if the movie listing says 4:15, the lawmaker wants the movie to start at 4:15, and if you want to see the previews, you show up beforehand. So I don't know that that's what our law focus needs to be right now with everything else going on in the world, but yeah. Um, Destiny 2 this week officially launched a partnership with Star Wars, and if you're playing Destiny 2, they've got some Star Wars um gear that you can play in and some tie-ins there, so it's officially out there if you want to go check that out. There is a horror movie coming up called The Monkey about that monkey with the drum and death and such. And they are releasing potentially what is the scariest popcorn bucket of all time, where you literally get the monkey and the drum as your popcorn bucket. Uh, Jeff says he loves the new armor in Destiny. Dope. I've not booted it uh, since it's launched. Fun story. I went to trade in my copy of Star Wars Outlaws, and that game has 2 discs already. And apparently, my Destiny was in my Star Wars Outlaws box. And when they looked, they just made sure there were multiple discs. And when they went to go, somebody actually bought my Rebels game. They're like, "Oh, hey, there's a copy of Destiny in here." And then it rode around in my friend John's truck for like a month, because he works there. So yeah, but I've got my copy of Destiny back, and I'm gonna look forward to checking that out. Mm. The Devil May Cry anime, by the way, I didn't say the date earlier. It releases on April 3rd. Lauren Daigle Super Bowl. Rapper Doechii, who won the Best Rap Album of the Year. Um, uh, she gave God credit for her album and also that her sobriety has helped her gain her success. I didn't know she existed until the day before the Grammys when my daughter told me who she was. The prayer app Hallow may be banned in Europe because they are cracking down on regulation of religious apps, and they are trying to limit and ban the use of religious apps throughout Europe. So it may be banned soon, along with other religious apps. Uh, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, was taken to the hospital Thursday night to get an MRI. Um, it might just be that his knee was bothering him, but they took him to the hospital at 10 o'clock at night for an MRI. The U.S. Navy is pulling some Halo level stuff. Or actually, I feel like more accurately, it'd be Gears of War. The U.S. Navy has released images showing its new drone destroying laser weapon in action. The system blasts more than 60 kilowatts of directed energy, enough to power up 60 homes at the speed of light that can hit targets up to 5 miles away. It is designed to counter a range of threats, including drones, small boats, and potentially incoming missiles. So they've literally got the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War, and they can shine a light, an energy ray, and take down targets. The Hammer of Dawn, it's real, it's happening. And honestly, the footage of the Navy actually showing this off is pretty dang impressive. So, yep, that's going down. Um, Previously, in the week or so that President Trump's been in office, he offered a buyout to federal workers who would just, dip. It looks like over 20,000 federal workers took that buyout. Um, in Spokane, Washington, on Tuesday, a Catholic priest was assaulted during a prayer service as a man lunged at the kneeling Reverend David Gaines and swung on him while he was praying. And this is all visible on the church's live stream as the parishioners. I don't know why that made me giggle. As the parishioners like then pulled him off of it, but it was just like the things you catch on church live streams. I don't know. Um, Even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen won his MVP for the NFL for the first time ever. So, congratulations to Josh Allen on that for winning. I feel that's accurate and well deserved. So, yeah. On a positive, not positive note, on a serious note, my friend LJ, who does the Nerd Slams with me and the poetry events and everything else, um, he found out Thursday that he had a blockage in his intestines leading to his colon. Um, and he is going in for surgery probably right about nowish. Um, Praying for him this morning. He is supposed to be hosting this poetry event that I'm doing tonight. And Law Bullock is going to be hosting it instead. Um, but praying for him because that's a serious thing to find out. But just throwing that there because he's having surgery today. If y'all would join me in praying um, for him, that would be greatly appreciated. Um, let's see. Upcoming faith and fandom stuff before we do the Bible reading. I've got the poetry event tonight in Fayetteville. Next week, I'll be at Greensboro for the Carolina Christian Youth Conference. The week after that, I will be in Charleston for Captain's Comics Expo. On the road with that. Um, yeah, I think that's just kind of been the schedule for things. Um, yeah, but keep it. There's also some stuff coming up in Faith and Fandom that we'll be announcing soonish. Um, I'm gonna wait for a little more solid groundwork for that, but let's go ahead and do our Bible reading. Pull out some dice. Which, by the way, last night I played my uh third actual campaign session for Dungeons and Dragons with a friend group that's playing at a local coffee shop, and man, it is such a fun experience just getting to do stuff with people like that because it's the fact that everybody isn't going to do things the same that makes it um so much more fun. There was at one point we were in a cave and there was a flame duke, which is like a flame kind of dragon, and we were attacking it because it attacked us. And somebody attacked one and destroyed it, and but then the DM said roll for Constitution because what we weren't aware of is that they exploded when you destroyed them. And then right when that happened, like there was one literally attached to me, and one of the other players was going to shoot it from across the room. It caused it to explode. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, I'm here. Don't blow me up. And it literally turned into a whole conversation. But you're a dwarf. You've got a shield. You'll be fine. And like, we're literally debating blowing me up. Um, and the whole thing was just like, this is fun. It's like, this is how I'm spending my Thursday night is like debating getting blown up by a flaming dragon. It was pretty cool. Um, All right, let's roll some dice, see what we're gonna read today. You know what we have learned applies to our lives today. God has a lot to say in his book. You know that God's word is for everyone. Now that a song is done, we'll take a look. Where's my D10? All right. So we are rolling for we're rolling 70 in dice and subtracting 4. That way we can have the first 4 books of the Bible. Otherwise, the lowest it would be the fourth book of the Bible. So we're subtracting 4. Here we go. Let's get out the calculator so I can do some math. About on time. I just got to make sure I'm over at the fire college on time today. Okie dokie. All right. So up first, a 3. Unsavory. All right. 17. Okay. You're another 3. That's 2 threes. And a 10. 33 minus 4 gives us 29. I feel like we were just in the 29th book of the Bible. I could be wrong, but I feel like that was just a thing in doing this. Let's count it out. 39 or so 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29. Joel 1161. Not that y'all have the same page count as me. So we're in the book of Joel. Yes, and we've totally landed here before. That's so funny. And Joel has 3 chapters. Y'all, that's so funny. We've managed to hit Joel 1 and 3 doing this. Huh. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll a d6. Um, if I don't get a 2 out of this, or like a 2 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I don't get 2 or 5, I'm re-rolling. Um, because I could just read 2, but I want to give it another shot, or also give another chance for something to read. So 3. So we've already done Joel 3. So for the sake of variety, I'm gonna do that again. So re-roll. And if you're saying he's cheating, don't worry about it. It's not that serious. We're still reading from the same Bible. All right, 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10. I just re-rolled 4 different dice. Good morning, Josh. I just re-rolled 4 different dice and got the exact same book. Out of all the dice possibilities, out of all the books of the Bible, I managed to get 33, which means 29 exactly again. I'm gonna do this one more time. If I get the book of Joel again, I'm reading the whole book. We're in for it, y'all. Here we go. 3, 8, Six or are you nine? You are nine. All right, last one. Here we go. Plus. All right, 22. Maybe it's a sign. I know. I know. I feel that way too. 22 minus 4 is 18. So let's see what this is. Um, we'll go from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We got Job. Okay. At least there's lots of chapter options for Job. So Job, which y'all that are listening, watching this, maybe y'all just need to reread Joel too. Um, so Job has, Job's got a hearty amount of chapters. 41, 42. Job has 42 chapters. So what we're gonna do is we are going to roll 2d20 and this coin will be a 1 and a 2. So we've got, wait, can I get chapter 1 that way if I do that? No. So you know what? We're just gonna do the same thing we do with like the book chapters and subtract 4. And that will give us enough room to be able to do it. No, do you need to subtract 4? 42. Mathing properly. Sorry. We just need to subtract 1. No, we need to subtract 1 for each dice so that you can score a 1. Um, so yes, I'm going to roll. Need to be able to score 3 plus 2, 45. And let's go with do a 6-sided die. We're gonna do 46 and subtract 3 and see what chapter we land on in Job. 9, 14 is 23 plus 2 is 25. Subtract the 3. We're going to be in Job 22. So Job 22 is where we're at. And if you're saying, boy, that's a lot of math to pick anything out, that's literally what you have to do in everything in Dungeons and Dragons. It's math all the time. And our DM will be like, if we roll something, he'll say, what'd you roll? All right, what plus your constitution? And he won't do math for you. You have to do the math, or he's not going to move on. All right, Job, chapter 22. Let's see what we got here. Got a highlighter and a pencil. Oh, all right. Job chapter 22. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, can a man be of benefit to God? Can even a wise person benefit him? Hmm. What pleasure would it give the Almighty if you were righteous? What would he gain if your ways were blameless? Is it for your piety that he rebukes you and brings charges against you? Is not your wickedness great? Are not your sins endless? I love that, it's the mindset of, are you sure this isn't your fault? Which is one of those things um, people will say or at least think when people are going through struggles. Are you sure it's not your fault? And like Job, it might not be your fault. Hmm. You demand security from your relatives for no reason. You stripped people of their clothing, leaving them naked. You gave no water to the weary and withheld food from the hungry. Though you were a powerful man owning land, an honored man living on it, and you sent widows away empty-handed and broke the strength of the fatherless. That is why snares are all around you, why sudden peril terrifies you, why it is so dark you cannot see, and why the floodwaters cover you. Is not God in the heights of heavens, and see how lofty are the highest stars? Yet you say, what does God know? Does he judge through such darkness? Now keep in mind, in context, this is Eliphaz replying to Job's reply, just for context. Um, Thick clouds veil him, so he does not see us as he goes about in the vaulted heavens. Will you keep the old path that wicked have trod? They were carried off before their time, their foundations washed away by flood. They said to God, leave us alone. What can the Almighty do to us? Yet it was he who filled their houses with good things. So I stand aloof from the plans of the wicked. Hmm. The righteous see their ruin and rejoice. The innocent mock them, saying, surely our foes are destroyed. Uh, Fire devours their wealth. Submit to God and be at peace with him. In this way, prosperity will come to you. Now, this is really one of those scenarios where somebody else thinks they has all the answers for Job's struggles, and that doesn't mean their opinions or responses are accurate. Verse 22, accept instruction from his mouth and lay up his words in your heart. But the deal is, even though this dude might not have the full understanding, that doesn't mean everything he's saying is wrong. Because sometimes people may think they have all the answers, um, and be wrong, but sometimes there might be some truth in what they say too, because everything this dude's saying is not accurate in his reply, but there is some truth in it. If you return to the Almighty, you will be restored if you remove wickedness from your tent and assign your nuggets to the dust, your gold to offer in rocks and ravines. Then the Almighty will be your gold, your choice is silver. Surely then you will find delight in the Lord Almighty, and God will lift up your face. You will pray to him, and he will hear you, and you will fulfill your vows. What you decide on will be done, and the light will shine on your ways. When people are brought low, and you say, lift them up, then he will save the downcast. He will deliver even one who is not innocent, who will be delivered through the cleanliness of your hands. So this is Eliphaz replying to Job's cry, um, because Job is at his bitterness. And again, Eliphaz wants to blame Job for what Job's going through. That he wasn't righteous enough, that he didn't take care of the needy enough, that maybe if he repents and gets his life right, God will bless him. And we know from context that Job didn't do anything wrong in the first place and that he was righteous in the Lord's sight. I'm going to go ahead and read the next one, or the next chapter, just because it's Job's reply or the beginning of Job's reply. Because Job is hearing Eliphaz say this and it's short. It says, even today my complaint is bitter. His hand is heavy in spite of my groaning. If I only know where to find him, if only I could go to his dwelling, I could state my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would find out what he would answer me and consider what he would say to me. Who would he vigorously oppose me? No, he would not press charges against me. There the upright can establish their innocence before him, and there I will be delivered forever from my judge. But if I go east, he is not there. If I go west, I do not find him. When he is at work in the north, I do not see him. When he turns to the south, I catch no glimpse of him. But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. When he's tested me, I will come forth with gold. My feet have closely followed his steps. I have kept to his view. I have kept to his way without turning aside. That's a statement to be able to make. My feet have closely followed his steps. I have kept to his way without turning aside. I have not departed from the commands of his lips. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my daily bread. But he stands alone, and who can oppose him? He does whatever he pleases. He carries out his decree against me, and many such plans he still has in store. That is why I am terrified before him. When I think of all this, I fear him. God has made my heart faint. The Almighty has terrified me. Yet I am not silenced by the darkness, by the thick darkness that covers my face. Man, what a phrase right there. Yet I am not silenced by the darkness, by the thick darkness that covers my face. So Job's reply to Eliphaz is like, listen, I know I've lived uprightly. I know I'm doing what God's called me to do. I know I'm living the way I'm supposed to be living. And if I could get to where he's at, I know I could plead my case. But either way, I'm not letting that deter me from what I'm going through. Verse 10, he said, but he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. The boldness to be able to say that. It's like, God knows what I'm doing. And when this is over, he's going to know that I gave my best and I did this purely. I did this correctly. I don't have that kind of fortitude. Like, I don't have, let's check the tape. I don't have that. I don't have that kind of confidence. And maybe that's a telling thing. Maybe I should be able to have that kind of confidence that I can say boldly, okay, let's see, let's look at what I've done. And I know it's going to stand up correctly. Um, hmm. And then verse 17, I really love. Yet I am not silenced by the darkness, by the thick darkness that covers my face. I love that. Put this on a little thing. Yeah, it's on a marker. On a marker. Yet I am not silenced by the darkness, thick darkness covers my face. Job 23:17. And that other one was 23:10. But he knows the way I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. Boy, howdy. Don't have that. Need that. Job 23. gonna keep these on my desk and stuff for a while. Terrible handwriting. Um, that's powerful. I will, but he knows the ways that I take. When he has tested me, I will come forth as gold. Yet I am not silenced by the darkness, by the thick darkness that covers my face. That's going to be a sticker or a graphic or something. Yet I'm not silenced by the darkness, by the thick darkness that covers my face. Um, that needs to be something. Put that in mind. I'll chew on that one throughout the day. All right. Before we go, I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters and all the people that help do all the things that make this possible. Um, do refresh my page. Um, Rivka and Tristan Birch, Dorothy Martin Winston, Michelle Stewart, Lynn Turner, David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Colin Sproles, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, Gear Saber Cosplay, Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, Jay Sheed, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Todd Turner, John Jacobs, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Jason Bullock, Christina Ray, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all for supporting and encouraging the way that you do. You genuinely make everything possible, uh, what we're doing with it, because I'm gonna tell you this is not always profitable or viable or functional, and you help make it happen. And God's blessed in some really astonishing ways. And I look forward to seeing what he's doing next. Um, uh, if you are on the booth sponsor or you've been on the book sponsor for more books than I've got, um, you've got something coming in the mail. I just mailed out yesterday. Stickers should be going out in the mail towards the end of the month if I don't see you at a show sooner. And Rivka and Tristan, I am, I'm as I mentioned, I'm trying to figure out how to get books to Australia because it's crazy go nuts um to do that. But we're gonna figure it out. And I appreciate y'all's love and support and for being as dedicated as you are. Um, yeah, I think that's about it for the day. I'm gonna go head on over to this fire college and take some pictures. Um, good morning, brother. Um, hope you're doing well, man. Um, by the way, Josh, if you're still on here, for the poetry thing tonight, the host that normally does it is in the hospital. There is going to be a substitute host that's doing it, but the doors open at like 7:30. Poetry will start at about 8 or 8:30, but I probably won't be going on until about 9:30. Just as a heads up. But it is at a coffee shop and a bakery, and people will be doing stuff the whole night. Um, but yeah, so lots of good stuff coming up. Event tonight, events next week. But I hope y'all have a great day and then it's a good Friday for you. And remember, free Slurpees. I appreciate you, Tristan. Thank you, man. Free Slurpees today at 7-Eleven, free coffee Monday at Starbucks, and Super Bowl. I hope y'all have a good time with it. Um, and I'm gonna go ahead and say peace out, and I will see y'all later. Have a great day.